tuning in to an all-new episode of the Tarot Talk Show, only on the ParaEncounters Network. I'm your host, Rebecca Brown. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm here in the beautiful hills of Northern California, and my BFF, Tarot Tim, is also in the house with me, broadcasting live from Dover, Delaware. Hey, Tim.
Hi, Rebecca. Hey, everybody.
Well, it's so good to be back. We went on a mini hiatus. Just for various reasons. So I hope everybody had a great Labor Day and happy fall. We're entering, it's the last half of September, and I can't believe it. I cannot believe how fast this year has gone. Can you, Tim? It's crazy.
Yeah, the last month has just flown by, especially.
Yeah, it's been like, for me anyway, like an Eight of Wands kind of year, just so fast. So you definitely got that speed. And speaking of a year, the Tarot Talk Show is officially 1 year old. We had our premiere episode September 14th of last year. So we're officially a year old now, and I can't believe it. We've grown so much. And thank you, Tim, for being there with me from the very start, and just like motivating me and inspiring me. And everybody needs a sidekick. I've always, kind of believed that and said that. So thank you so much for being mine and just learning with me. It's been good.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been good.
And the terrible twos. Yay.
Oh, Lord. The world is not ready. I'm not ready. But, yeah, and a big thank you to all of the guests that came on the show this past year. You really helped make the show what it is. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy lives to come on the show and share your knowledge and insights and wisdom with us. I so appreciate it. And a big thank you, of course, to producer Eric for inviting us over to the ParaEncounters Network and just being there for us and supporting us as well as you do. So it's all so appreciated. What else do I have on the beginning here? A big congratulations to our friends at the Fountain Tarot. They met their Kickstarter goal, and the deck will officially be going to print. They not only met their goal, they exceeded their goal. That's how fabulous this deck is. So again, I encourage everybody, if you have not already done so, there's still time, I think, to pre-order your copy of the Fountain Tarot by visiting fountaintarot.com. And again, a big thank you to Andy Tadaro for coming on our last episode to discuss the deck and its process and everything. So super exciting, super fantastic. I ordered a couple copies of the deck, Tim, and I think that when it comes in, I'm going to be so tempted to call in sick or something. Hopefully no one from work is watching this, but yeah, I'll be tempted to call in sick. Sorry, can't come to work. I'm going to be playing with my cards all day,
I understand completely.
All right, so I think that's kind of what I just had to say in the beginning. I thought today we would discuss everyday tarot card combinations. And this is one of the things when I was launching or in the process of writing my blog, 365 Days of Tarot, which you can still access at 365daysoftarot.com. When I was working on this, I had, all of the search engine optimization and all that little stuff. But thankfully, my Knight of Wands friend, who's very technical and computer-oriented and very fast about this kind of thing, he kind of set me up with that. And so I was able to monitor the search terms that would bring people to the website. And what I started noticing was that people were searching for combinations. They would put in, Queen of Cups plus Five of Cups, love, that kind of thing. And it would bring them to the website. And so what I started to do on 365 Days of Tarot was address these search engine tarot card combinations that brought people to the site, address them, kind of break them down and discuss them. So I thought we would kind of get into that today, Tim, just by using some of the ones that have kind of come through the pipeline. And given we don't know the question that's asked each and every time, because a lot of times they just put in the combination. But I feel that even so, the cards, no matter what deck, and even if you don't know the question, I feel like the cards still kind of retain a certain essence, that translates no matter what the question is being asked. So, and then the everyday part comes in where, these are people asking about things in their everyday lives. So everyday tarot card combinations is our topic for tonight. Let's see. So I'm just going to pick one here. Let's see. What should we go with? Let's go with Hanged Man and Wheel of Fortune.
Ah.
All right, there. You got a couple majors. So that's significant, I think. 2 majors in a row.
And the instantaneous first thing that popped in my mind was something my grandmother used to say, which is, she would say the clean version, not what I would say. It's crap or get off the pot.
Right.
It's definitely some, they need to make a decision and stop being stagnant. Get it moving,
Right. There is definitely that parallel between those 2 cards, because you have the stasis of the Hanged Man, although it's active stasis, but it is like stasis, and then the very active turning of the wheel. So yeah, for me, I would agree with that you're in a period right now, but it's soon things are going to start turning. Things are going to start evolving. And I often see the Wheel of Fortune also as time. Not in timing, but literally time. So if I saw the Hanged Man plus the Wheel of Fortune in terms of when am I going to get a job, when am I going to find love, and that kind of thing, I would say that it's going to take time. Like, you're going to have to wait for that wheel to start turning again. So, yeah.
That's also when I say you need to be proactive. If you want to get it moving and bring it faster, you need to make a decision about the direction you want to go.
That's right.
Because if you just wait for it to play itself out, like you said, you may be sitting there for a while up on that little fence.
That's very true. It's time to come down. Time to come down from the pole, right? Yeah, where you're hanging. It's true. Proactive. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's see. Knight of Pentacles, husband. Now, I'm not sure the context of this question, of course, but I think it's interesting. I don't know if this question is in terms of what would this person be like as a husband, what I need to know about my husband. I'm not quite sure the context, but I think it's an interesting search.
Well, yeah. I don't know. If she's looking for a husband, she's definitely looking for a change in that status, and she wants it to move, into that realm. If she already has a husband, that may not bode well for the relationship, because she may be changing up on that a little bit.
Could be, yeah. I say the Knight of Pentacles is very steady, family-oriented. He's like the family man. I feel like the Pentacles courts are, for the most part, very family-oriented, very stable. I think it might have even been said before, I've said this before, they can be a little on the dull side. Like, if it's excitement you probably, don't want a Pentacles kind of husband or man. But if you want stability, reliability, dependability, family, and of course work, the Pentacles are the workhorse, one of the workhorses of the tarot. I think the Swords are the others that do that. But work, very, very steady. So, and honest too. I kind of feel like with the Pentacles and even the Knight of Pentacles, whatever he's offering to you, whatever he's bringing to you, I feel like for the most part, you can count on it. Like, what you see is what you get. And it's not too exciting all the time. But
if she's trying to rush the Knight of Pentacles to the altar and get the husband, that may take a while because he is sitting still.
Oh, yes.
He's the slowest knight out there.
I totally agree, and I think that's great you brought that up. Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles, you're not going to rush him into marriage. You're not going to trick him into marriage either. Like, you have to get up really early in the morning to fool the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles. Like, you can't trick him. You can't push him. He's going to think very carefully about if he wants to commit, because I feel like the Pentacles courts, they're very, sincere and honest. So if he's not feeling it, he's not just going to rush into it. Like I feel like the Knight of Cups would, or the Knight of Wands, you're right. You can't push him, rush him. It's all in his own time. And you might get frustrated with him, make a decision. But he's thinking carefully, I think, with the Knight of Pentacles.
I had a friend who was, and we were all shocked when it actually happened. She was living with her guy for like 16 years before they got married.
Oh, that's so Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, right. But I feel like once the Knight of Pentacles commits, like he commits, like he's loyal, and then you're going to have a hard time getting rid of him because very loyal, very stubborn, very enduring. The Pentacles, they'll put up with anything, you know? And I'm sorry, did you have more to say about the friend?
No, okay. That's just it. Was, but even when it happened, it was like once he said yes, she had to do all the planning, all he did was show up.
Right.
Once he decided that, though, it was fine. But
yes, he's there and he's in it. He's in it for life, and I feel like the Knight of Pentacles is like, once he commits, and you're going to have a hard time breaking up with him even. Like, that's the downside, because he's not going to accept it. He's not going to get emotional like the Knight of Cups. He's not going to get pissed like the Knight of Wands. He's just going to be like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Like, I'm going to be in your life anyway, so whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agree. Yeah, very funny. Let's see what else we have here. I saw one. I lost it. 6 of Pentacles and 2 of Cups. This feels very benevolent to me, like pretty balanced and benevolent. There's a good, and I say benevolent because for me, I feel like the 6 of Pentacles is it's very symbiotic. It's very like give and take, and it's mutually, like there's mutual benefit for 2 people involved with the 6 of Pentacles. So be this a relationship or a work situation, I feel like 6 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups is actually pretty nice because you have the stability of the Pentacles mixed with a really nice, even lovely emotion of the 2 of Cups. It's also an offering, I think, and I guess I'm thinking of like traditional tarot symbolism, but with the 6 of Pentacles and the 2 of Cups, you have an exchange that's visually represented. Given I'm thinking of Rider-Waite or Waite-Smith. I don't know what we're calling this deck anymore, but you know what I mean. And so, yeah, I feel like there's an exchange. So I feel like this combination is very illustrative of an exchange in many ways, which is a good thing. Like it's nice.
Yeah, well, it feels kind of sweet.
Yeah, there's to it.
It's like the kids next door that are high school sweethearts, and they've just kind of, it's not the most exciting relationship, maybe, but it's definitely one that you can enjoy and you can count on.
Yeah, I think it's nice. I think it's balanced also when you think numerically 6 and 2. And yeah, it's a multiple. 6 is a multiple of 2, correct? Am I saying that right? So
it feels like a pretty even relationship. Like it's not one of these crazy mad, woo,
Right. Yeah, be it a relationship or be it like a work situation, or I would like to see the 6 of Pentacles plus the 2 of Cups. I think that's a great draw for a question about a job interview. Like, will I get the job? Yeah, 6 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups. That's great. It's like a total offering. Or what do I need to know about like my family situation, or what energy surrounds my week this week? I think that combination is really nice for just giving and receiving, and really lovely balance and spirit thrown in there. I think that's really nice. 10 of Swords and Queen of Cups. That's all that I have for this search. I don't know the question, but that's an interesting combo because I feel like the Swords are really hard for the Cups to take, even though one is the antidote to the other. The Queen of Cups, she's not going to like the 10 of Swords, and she's going to have a hard time being the 10 of Swords if this is like a proactive question.
Yeah, it feels like trouble with the mother-in-law to me.
Sharp. Yeah.
or your boss is a female, or I mean, it's definitely someone who's in authority over you that you're having some kind of a conflict with. Because you're coming at life from different points of view.
Right.
Like, so they don't necessarily play well together because one of them's basing it totally emotionally and the other one's basing it off, the right and wrong, but I think they're thinking more of what's right for them as opposed to what makes it work necessarily.
Right. Well, I think if you're asking a question about a situation, like what do I need to know about X, Y, or Z, I think the Ten of Swords is very... the Ten of Swords plus the Queen of Cups, I would think, would be like very Ten of Swords, like disappointment, endings. You kind of feel like you feel stabbed in the back. It's really hard to take, but I feel like that's what you see. But the Queen of Cups, to me, paired with that, would kind of indicate that whoever's doing this or whatever's happening, there's a lot more below the surface. Like like Ten of Swords is all you see on the surface, but what's operating below is like very cups. And very, there's a lot more at play, Does that make sense?
Right. I have a really interesting duo for you, actually.
Okay, you go. What was this card you pulled for me right now?
Well, no, this is actually, I went in for an appointment today, and they didn't show up. But, like, when it was time for them to be there, someone else had just asked for a reading, so they didn't show up. So I said, fine, we can go now if you'd like to go.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It's a very interesting reading, but the final two cards for the reading were the Devil and the Tower.
Did you pull anything after the Tower?
That was the last card in the deck.
Okay. I like to sometimes pull after the Tower because I don't like to end on the Tower. I like to be like, here's what comes afterwards. And sometimes it's the kind of it's like, never mind.
Would never end on those two cards ever. But
sure.
Spirit told me that was the last two cards. I mean, sure. I heard clearly in my head, you're done.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. Devil and Tower. So, well, those are they go together naturally in the tarot line as 15 and 16. Yeah, I would just say, just some illusions are going to be just broken, Surprise. Surprise comes to mind, I feel like often with the Devil and the Tower, and you can't plan for the Tower. It blindsides you. You can try. And put things in line. You can try. And that's why I feel like the tarot, of course, as you know, is a valuable tool. Because if you can kind of see this coming, you're not, you kind of know it's there. So you can try and put things in place to deal with it, But even so, you can't plan for the Tower. It just happens. This to me feels like just completely blindsided. Like a complete and total... surprise just out of nowhere that happens.
And which, I don't get into details of readings for others, but in the context of her reading and her stuff, those two cards were actually, I loved seeing that because she's going through grief and stuff right now that's really almost insurmountable, but it's actually going to end. She's going to be able to let go of the stuff that's holding her into those baser emotions of loss and pain and grief and let it go. And it really is, the hand of God sweeping all the crap out of your life so you can start from the ground zero. So it's the only time I've ever ended on the Tower, ever. Because usually, like you said, it's like, ooh, got to give them something to look forward to and hang on to, but it was actually the culmination of the journey. So, yeah.
No, I think that's great because, I think that's great. And the Tower isn't always bad because sometimes you need things to end. Sometimes sometimes I see the Tower as enlightenment. I think, and that's kind of what you were alluding to. I feel is, you have that lightning bolt of that aha moment. It's very much like the cosmic light bulb. I think, in the major line anyway, where it's like, yes, it sucks, but oh, I get it now. So I think that's good. There's enlightenment with the Tower, and the good thing about being disillusioned is the illusion is gone, which the illusion is very much the devil, and that's what follows naturally. And I love what you had to say about the tower as representing moving forward, because as Arcana 16, 1 and 6 is 7, which is the chariot. Like, the chariot is all about movement and journeying. And no, I think it's great. The tower is, very, very necessary. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What else we got? Oh, Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands, tarot, timing. I get a couple timing searches sometimes in the mix. Eight of Wands timing, so fast, like lightning. I believe Eight of Wands, I want to say Mercury in Aquarius. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Mercury in Aquarius. Mercury, fast-moving planet. You know, even when you think of, like, the god Mercury, you know, so fast. Yeah. Combined with Aquarius, which is ruled by the planet Uranus. Explosive, so fast, comes out of nowhere. It's an air sign. Really, really fast. So, in terms of timing...
first thing is intuition. You need to not think about it. You need to make the decision and then go with it. Don't rethink it. Don't doubt it. It's a leap of faith.
Right.
And that's the timing is you have to do it now. There's no waiting because the opportunity is very, very fleeting.
Right. Oh, I agree. The window's short. And I like what you said about not overthinking it. Just do it. It's quick. Yeah, very quick. And I like that a lot. Yeah, very fast. So if someone was like, well, when am I going to get a job? When am I going to meet somebody? When, whatever. Eight of Wands, faster than you can even imagine. Like, fast. Like, tomorrow, in a week fast, even.
And when you're saying that, it's like, my first thing was when you get off your ass and make it happen. Because you can't sit there waiting to get the job. You have to be sending out the resumes. You have to be checking the want ads. You have to be putting your applications in, you know. Because a lot of people do. They want to sit there and, you know, oh, I've prayed for it. Now I'm going to wait for it to happen. It's like, seriously?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's like even biblically, you know,
being proactive.
God helps those that helps themselves. It's like you have to actually do the work.
Right. No, it's true. It's true. But I think that, yeah, with the Eight of Wands, absolutely. Very, very fast. And speaking of timing, High Priestess and timing. This was interesting, and I did, I think this is one of the ones I addressed on my blog, because I see the High Priestess as really defying time. It's like timeless, you know, like it's I think if you get the High Priestess for timing, I feel like the message is that time is irrelevant almost, that you just need to sit there and just be in the flow and let go of your expectation, your anticipation, and just let it be. What are your feelings on this?
Well, I agree with that, but I also think with the High Priestess, in her timing, she would act when she feels at her strongest. When the moon is in the right aspect for her to make it happen, when she's got her magical stuff assembled around her, and she's very much about being intuitive. When she sees into the darkness that it's time, then she'll react. Now, it's very much trusting oneself and going with your timing.
I like
and
that.
Not the timing of the world. It's your inner clock is going to tell you when it's time.
Intuition, yes, of course. I do. I like that. Very good. Oh, what else have we got here? Oh, Ace of Wands, sexual. It cracks me up when people plug in tarot combinations and sex or sexuality or whatever. Some of these I don't even understand what that means exactly. Like what the question was. I wish I knew what the question was. Ace of Wands, sexual. That's chemistry. Absolutely. Nice chemistry.
I think they're going to try something new with their freaky deaky because these aces are about some new stuff. So, you know.
That's true. I like that. Something new. Yeah, something new. I feel like the wands, too, are very spontaneous and fun-loving, and let's try something new. Because I mean, I would feel like the Ace of Pentacles would be like, nah, let's just do it the same way we've always done it, Or like the Swords would be like, it almost feels like, what's the word I'm looking for? Clinical. I feel like Swords would be like clinical sex, like just for procreation, Yeah, Ace of Wands, though, absolutely fun-loving. Let's try this or that or do whatever. Yeah. And it is an ace, you said. New things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely something you haven't done before.
Right. I think that's funny. What else have we got? Knight of Cups, womanizer. I'm not sure. Again, I wish I knew what the question was, but this one was amusing to me. Knight of Wands, womanizer. If you're asking the cards, is he a womanizer? He probably is. I would like to put that out there. And the Knight of Cups, yes, I would say of the tarot courts. Well, I don't know though. I would hate to say that because I feel like they can each in their own way be womanizing. Knight of Cups, I feel loves women, loves love even. So yes, I think so.
Well, yeah, kind of in love with themselves too.
That's true. Yes, that's interesting. Yeah, so getting relationships and being with women to kind of feed that ego that he can. Yeah, right. That's funny.
And the funny thing with me is so many of the Nine of Cups guys are not attractive physically. You wouldn't look at them and think that they're, out there being a player, but some of these little dorky guys have got a string of women on the side. It's interesting.
That's funny. Yeah.
And the women are all fighting over him, and that feeds that ego even more. I don't understand why women blame the other woman instead of blaming the guy. Never got that.
I don't know. I'm right there with you. I don't know. It's some illusion, I guess. Well, that's the thing. There's a lot of illusion with the Knight of Cups because, like you said, this is the guys who are womanizers are the guys you'd never expect. Well, that's very Knight of Cups. There's a lot. We've said time and time again on the show, those still waters run deep. Like the watery cups chords, they are deep. Like whatever you're seeing on the surface, there's a lot more going on below. Yeah, absolutely. What else have we got here? Let's see. Five of Swords and Five of Cups. This is kind of a tough combo, no matter what question I feel you're reading for.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, fives you just kind of have to get through because they're all about the chaos and the drama and the trauma and two fives at the same time. Wow,
it's hard. That's a hard combo. The only thing missing is like the Five of Pentacles,
well, and I feel like the person is in Five of Wands mode themselves to be involved in the situation.
Oh, I like that. Yes.
I like the drama.
And what was it that Robert Alvarez, he's been on the Psychic Witch, he's been on our show a couple times. He calls it DTM. He calls it DTM, drama, trauma, melodrama. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it's true. People who are caught up in that. Yeah, that's interesting. Like you said, you have to be kind of in a Five of Wands mindset to be involved in that. I like it.
But, that's some people, that drama makes them feel special and wanted and needed, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. I feel like there's the kind of I feel like with all fives, there's a kind of an essence of a loss involved. And I think that with this combination, especially Five of Swords and Five of Cups, that's loss, that's disappointment, defeat, maybe even some regret thrown in there. Yeah. It's hard. It's the kind of, I think, stuff that's really going to trigger your issues, which I feel like is why it pulls from, 15, the big five, really, in the majors line. 15, the devil, who kind of rules the fives, the realm of the fives. all of your dark stuff gets triggered, and that's why it's so hard.
It's also bad choices. Or not making a choice as a bad choice. Because not making a choice is really choosing whether you think it is or not.
Right. For sure. But yes, that's a tough combination. Yeah. Let's see. What does the moon and death card together mean? Again, two majors. This is kind of like pay attention, I think, when two majors show up.
It really, because to me the moon is all about intuition, the psyche, and it's really, to me, it's let go of that logical mind and trust yourself. Believe in your intuition and in what you know is right and true, and stop worrying so much about what everyone else thinks and the dogma that's surrounding everything. Let all that just kind of go and follow your own path.
I love it. Dogma. Do you mean, like, are you talking in a way about the dogs in the card literally, like as in dogma? Because that was clever, if that's what you meant.
Well, that could be part of it, but that's,
I like that. The moon, the dog.
I mean, because if you look, it's the dog and the wolf. So it's the one who has let go of all instinct and is laying there, at your feet. Or do you go howl at the moon and be free?
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like it a lot.
Each choice has its own reward and responsibility. You just have to decide how free you're willing to be. Because that's outside the comfort zone. It's where the real magic happens, but it's a scary place to be because there's no safety net.
Right. It's true. It's like the underworld, the other realm, all those things that the moon definitely is. And the transformation that the death really is. I agree.
When you're getting into that and the whole canine thing, it's also, that's the whole loup garou. Do you let the wild beast out when you're in that moon space,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which isn't a bad thing. People are scared of that because, if you go back to that whole primal tribal self, that's letting go of our little thin veneer of civilization that we like to pretend we have.
Sure.
Which is a very thin little layer because it hasn't been on humans for that long. Not evolutionary speaking,
Right. No, absolutely. Well, what I get from the moon paired with death is just digging deep, like whatever, be it like a question about your spirituality or about the week ahead, or what do you need to know about like your work or your relationship. Yeah, the moon plus death, I feel, is about digging deep, to going into those subconscious waters, taking a look at what's really there, sitting with, like, asking yourself, like, what am I afraid of? If this is my reaction or my hope or whatever, where is that coming from? Like, really digging deep to really bring forth, pushing that stuff to the surface and really pushing it to the surface so that there can be some transformation. Like if somebody came to me and said, what do I need to know about my job? And I draw the moon and death. That's, again, digging deep. Is this the job that I really want? Is this where I really want to be? Do I really feel like I'm serving my time here? Do I really feel like I'm paying off my karmic debts by working at the McDonald's? You know what I'm saying? Like, really, not that there's anything wrong with that. Some people are, absolutely. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not what you really, really are happy with, if it's not what you really, really want to do, or even, am I really paying off my karmic debts by being a whatever, like a teacher or a, you know what I'm saying? If it's not, to really dig deep and ask yourself, is this really where I want to be? Is this really what I want to do? And going there, it's scary. It's amazing how scary it is to really ask yourself, what do I want?
It feels like with these two cards, to me, it feels like if you choose to stay where you're at, it's settling out of fear.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how scary it is to even ask yourself the very question, is this really, really what I desire?
So many people will choose the misery they know because they know it.
Right. Oh,
It's
sure.
a security
It's safe.
blanket.
It's safe.
Your security blanket is very often your prison. You just don't realize it.
Right. It's safe. Yeah, it's comfortable. It's predictable. It's absolutely right. You're miserable, but hey, you know, you got stability, security, whatever. But is it really serving you? And so, yeah, the moon plus death, I feel, really is telling you to really dig deep, like really, really go there. It almost feels like kind of a dark night of the soul kind of thing, where it's like, to me, the moon is very much that way, I think. Beautiful card, but can also be about digging deep in that way. And then death, yeah, death, child of the great transformers. Like, that's really, like, that's big. That's big stuff.
I get these two cards together.
Yeah.
I would also, for myself, throw in the Hanged Man. Because I have my job that I have for my insurance and my security, and then I read my cards because I love to do that. So I'm definitely going kind of that fine line between the two, and because I'm not to a point where I can completely make my living just doing tarot. I still have to have the insurance and the Obamacare and all, you know.
No, absolutely. And I'm not saying, you know, that if you get this combo to dig deep and then just say to hell with it and just head for the hills or whatever. But it's like starting a dialogue with yourself,
Yeah.
You know, to getting the conversation started.
I've found an outlet to let some of that possibility in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To open the window, to really go there and explore it. Do something, right? Something that's transformative. Absolutely. No, this is a great
I would say
This is
even
heavy. Yeah.
with it being instinct and intuition and everything, if you've got something you need to say and where you're at, you can't say it, start a blog, start a Facebook page, start a web page, do an online business, do something to honor that, even if it's just journaling for yourself.
Right.
You know, honor what you're saying and have an outlet for it.
Right. I absolutely agree. And the moon and death is a heavy combo in terms of like spirituality and psychologically. It's a heavy combo, but it's true. To do something to explore that, to do something to go there. And it's amazing what teeny little baby steps can lead to. I believe that. So anyway, great. I love that combo. I really do. Scary as hell, but I love it. That's a great combo. Whatever this question is, whatever this person drew, you know, this for, it's really telling you something. This is very significant. So I hope that they follow this. Because it's good. It's good. Let's see. Meaning of tarot cards, the Hangman. We won't discuss that. We've discussed the Hangman so many times in the show. It's probably me. I probably typed that, hoping for something different with the Hangman. Oh my goodness. What have we got here? High Priestess and Seven of Swords. I have some thoughts on this. What do you think? Or I can go first, too. Doesn't matter.
You can go first. Might have to
My thoughts on this. You know, the sevens are very tricky. I'm not saying they're bad, because I don't think there are bad cards in the tarot, but they're tricky, and they tend to indicate an imbalance of some sort. And Seven of Swords, I do feel that it's, and even being swords, I feel like it's one of those cards where, and even with all the sevens, there's more going on than is apparent. So whatever, I feel like the High Priestess and Seven of Swords is really telling you to use that intuition to cut through the mind and the logic of those swords. So whatever you're being told, whatever your mind wants to believe, whatever is appearing to you, maybe even very clearly on the surface, it's saying use that intuition to really dig deeper. Because I think there's some deception here with the Seven of Swords and the High Priestess. So either you're being encouraged to be the High Priestess and use that intuition. If something isn't right, if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. Or the High Priestess can also be deceptive, I think. Because, you know, you have that, I don't want to put it, that moon. just with the moon and the shadow, the high priestess isn't always upfront with you either. Not in the way the magician is, I feel. So yeah, high priestess, the Seven of Swords, I feel like there's some deception there somewhere that you're going to have to get to the bottom of.
Well, yeah, and it could also be the need to work behind the scenes in order to manifest change and make something happen, because a frontal attack is not going to work in this situation. So you kind of have to take that cover of darkness that the high priestess can work so well in, because she can pull stuff in the shadows.
Oh, sure.
But the seven's also about kind of sneaking around and circumventing, whether it be, an employer, a spouse, someone that feels like there could be a little danger involved there. You kind of have to keep it on the DL.
I was about to say caution. Caution also comes to mind with this combination. Yeah, just being very careful. Yeah, really feeling out the situation.
If you pull it off, the high priestess can do it. Because she's very good at doing her magic by moonlight, let's say.
Yes,
so
for sure.
She doesn't get the full light of sun or full disclosure or anything. It's definitely someone who would pull the strings behind the scenes.
Right. Yeah.
This is so fun. Do you know what? I'm flashing on this.
What?
It's Hillary Clinton when Bill was president. Because she's the one who was really making all the decisions, and she's the puppet master who's got her hand up your backside making everything happen, and you think you're in charge. Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. I feel like the high priestess, beautiful card, but she's got a long game. Like a long game. Yeah, you want to get to somebody, you want something, you got to have a long game. And I feel like the high priestess absolutely has that. And again, there's more below the surface than might appear. Hillary Clinton, I can see her as the priestess, the high priestess. Oh, yeah. I also think the woman is Queen of Swords, just so Queen of Swords, just so. Just so brilliant. And even
I think she's Queen of Swords. She's Queen of Swords in the best and the worst sense of the card.
Right. I was trying to figure out how I would put this. But I feel like when the whole Bill Clinton thing broke, with him and Monica Lewinsky and everything, she was very much in all of that. Yeah, like High Priestess, Queen of Swords. I think, she wasn't emotional or whatever, because she knew where she wanted to go. Maybe she didn't care anyway, I don't know, but yeah, just the way she played it was very high priestess, Queen of Swords. So absolutely. So I'd say caution. If it's a question about a friend, what do I need to know about this friend? High priestess, swords, again, like caution. What do I need to know about this job? Maybe the boss is into some underhanded stuff or isn't being upfront with you. What do I need to know about the week ahead? Again, caution. Use that intuition. Good. Very good. What else? What else have we got here? The Magician and Ace of Pentacles. This is a great photo. I like this. Manifestation comes to mind. Manifestation. If anybody's going to manifest it and make it happen, be proactive, it's the Magician.
Yep. And, it's like you're kind of creating prosperity as you go along. You're making the decisions but it feels very, very much they're taking those big grand ideas and manifesting them in a practical, physical way.
Yes.
Because the Magician is very, very good at taking the star and actually bringing it down to earth. It's very Bill Gates. Someone you wouldn't ever have looked at in high school and thought this is going to be the billionaire who rules 2/3 of the country, But it's
I agree. Yeah. And the Ace of Pentacles is tangible. It's not just some idea you have floating up here. It's not just a dream or a wish. It's really bringing it down to earth. I love it. Manifestation and being proactive. But you know what also comes to my mind, though, when I think of this combination? I think of, like, gifts and offerings. Because I feel like the magician could be like a powerful person. Maybe it's your boss who offers you a promotion. Maybe it's your friend who, I don't know, buys you dinner or gives you something. Maybe it's, I don't even know. But I'm getting like a lot of like benevolence from this also. Just like something nice where it's a gift from the universe and it's great. Something's offered to you. But in that sense, like you had mentioned before, you manifest it. You put yourself in a position where you can receive these things.
But it's also that whole, if it's being gifted to you, it's one of those things you need to accept it on face value and not go into the whole, are there strings attached, are there this, are there that? Because if it's the magician, you know, you just need to let it happen. Because they might not offer again if you refuse, you know?
Right.
Benevolence only goes so far.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's see. Well, should we pull a card?
Sure.
Should we see what comes up and then we can like discuss that card? Yeah, these are interesting. I wish I knew the questions for these.
Are we pulling one or are we pulling two?
Well, I have a feeling that you're saying that because you pulled two, so.
I haven't pulled yet, but I was just like, well, am I pulling one and then you're laying the card across it to see what that is, or?
Well, you know what? You know what we should do? Let's pull. It's because it's the birthday. We're 1 year old. Let's do like what do we need to know for the next year? Let's do that. You pull a card, I'll pull a card, and then we'll have like a 2-carder. Unless you feel compelled to pull another card after your 1 card.
Okay.
I feel tarot cards are like potato chips. Like, you can't just have one. You can't just pull one, you know? And it gets to the point where you just have to be like, you know, you got to stop. Like, after 10 cards, you got to stop pulling them. But it's hard. All right, so yeah, you pull one, I'll pull one. So what do we need to know for the year ahead for the Tarot Talk Show? Oh, man, I'm like, oh, the anticipation. Oh, what is it? Okay. What'd you get?
I got the Ace of Swords, so the answer is yes.
I like it. Ace of Swords, communication, radio, TV, technology. I love it. Words, swords. Great. That's exciting.
Yeah, well, and with swords, it's also about choosing the right path and the right ways to expand and to move forward and everything. It's definitely going with your gut and your intellect and figuring out the best way to do everything.
Right, discernment also. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Yeah, purpose and karma even. And I say that because I feel like the Ace of Swords in many ways pulls from the Justice card in the tarot, which is very karma. And by karma, I mean responsibility or even things that are chosen. All is chosen, of course. But, well, and even I see that you and me, like or you and I, our partnership, I feel, is very, like, karmic. We've met before. We made plans to meet again, you know, and to do this work. Eric included. I'd put him in there also. And even the guests, like everybody. It's collaborative in that way. So I think that's cool.
And the swords, it's also, you know, we cut through the crap and make it happen. Because the swords are very double-edged and, you know, we're not going to do something that feels wrong for the show, for the evolution, for us, you know.
Sure.
Because it's been very organic the way it's grown from, you know, Blog Talk to the ParaEncounters Network to, you know.
To what it is. Right. I think so. And I feel like for me, the swords is also like do the show. Like no matter what. Like no matter what. So find a way, and I think that's encouraging. Also, well, I drew the 4 of Pentacles.
Oh,
this is interesting.
I actually like the 4 of Pentacles.
Yeah,
I don't get the whole miser vibe that some people do.
No, you know what I'm getting from this? I'm getting two words kind of came into my mind when I saw this, and part of it's the astrological piece that I see in this, but what I was getting is details matter. Like, details matter. So the message could be, instead of kind of going all, I mean, off the cuff is good, but maybe like really paying attention to those details, to my deadlines, to my whatever, you know, which I am like, I'm a Sag moon. I'm like, oh, whatever, tomorrow. I think for me that this is more like, yeah, details matter. Resources also is kind of coming to my mind, like really seeking out, yeah, resources. But no, I'm not getting miser from this. I'm not getting like hoarding or being stingy or, you know.
It actually feels prosperous to me. And prosperity isn't necessarily always about money. It's also about happiness and bringing the things into your life that matter, you know?
Yeah.
And it's very grounded. Because the pentacles are pretty much very grounded.
Grounded, balanced.
In reality, you know. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, you know, having a roof over your head and money's important, but, you know, people choose that all the time and make themselves totally miserable and don't even enjoy their life at all.
Right. Right.
So.
Yeah. I like it. Cool. Did you pull another? Let's pull one more, because like I said, we can't just stop at one. I can't stop at one.
What I got the 8 of Swords.
Oh, okay.
Which that's another card that I like that a lot of people don't like, because they see it, it's bound and restricted, and you know, restrictions also protect you. Boundaries keep things where they're supposed to be so they don't get out of hand and get lost and misconstrued. I love the whole mask over the eyes, because that just means you have to act on your intuition. Mm-hmm. And really, it's setting up the boundaries and the restrictions in your life that you can live with.
Right, that you can live with, or that you can choose to get out of. I mean, visually, the 8 of Swords, she can get out of that. She could use the swords to cut those ties behind her back. She can move out of those boundaries, or whatever. There's a lot of choice with the 8 of Swords that I like. Yeah,
well, it's not letting people step over those boundaries into a place where they're not respecting and honoring your path. You know, because as we honor everyone else, we deserve that respect back.
Right. For sure.
And I think that very much so in the guests that we've had and the shows that we've done, we very much respected each other's opinions, even if they differed. You know, because it really is the show is a place where it's about an exchange of ideas and mutual respect and honoring each other and the information that we have to share. And that's why I'm involved with it. Besides the fact I get to play cards with my best friend, so, you know.
No, I agree. Yeah, that's what I wanted the show to be, is like an open forum, just have a dialogue. And yeah, I haven't agreed with everything that's been said by our guests, who I love them so much. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming on the show. It means the world to me. But yeah, I haven't always agreed, exactly. I feel like that's not my role. My role isn't to criticize or to or whatever. You know, it's to have that dialogue, to put it out there, to get people thinking. Absolutely. And again, I don't see it as...
And this is my ginormous mug that y'all never see online. It's like 100 ounces.
Is that your Ace of Cups?
That's my Ace of Cups. It's Diet Mountain Dew.
Oh, my goodness.
If I was drinking that, I would be...
We didn't have a word of the night, which I didn't send it. Again, the details, I did not send it to Eric. But yeah, we usually have our little game. What was I saying?
Hey, I have
that it's an open forum to create a dialogue. And I don't even see it as my show, really. It's more like, or our show or whatever. It's just the tarot talk, like where we just whatever, and it belongs to everyone. It's a collaborative effort, for sure.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it, Eric.
I have an interesting combo if you guys have time.
Sure.
Sure.
The Four of Cups and the Five of Swords.
Ooh.
I actually had that come up in a reading the other day.
What was the question? Was it a reading for you, or were you reading for somebody else?
I was reading for somebody else.
Okay. 4 cups, 5 sword. Can I ask what field it was? Like love, money, work?
It would have been love.
Okay, love. Okay, that's enough. Yeah. I get like this feels like inertia to me. Inertia, apathy. It feels very like meh to me. Like I don't know. I'll have to think on this a minute. What are your thoughts, Tim?
Well, it seems like they're not being satisfied and fulfilled with the situation they're in to me. But they're focusing on odd things. Instead of, they're not necessarily focusing on the reality of what's there. They're focusing on, that ideal that they have in their head that may not have anything to do with the reality of the situation. So it's almost like, there's a quote that I love, and I have no idea who said it first, but it's like, hell is being in heaven and being too stupid to realize it. So they don't really see what they have in front of them, and they're letting it create a lot of chaos and drama around them when it doesn't have to, because it doesn't feel like it's a bad relationship necessarily to me.
Right. It just, yeah. I kind of feel like there's 4 of Cups and 5 of Swords. It kind of feels like a decision that you're putting off also, like just something that you keep passing on. It's like you're just passing, like, I keep wanting to go like this. Like you're going round and round, and you have that opportunity, and with 4 Cups, you're turning it down. So you're going around again. And it's like, okay, when are you going to break the cycle of the 4 and make it a 5? Like, when are you going to have that added element, that extra element that kind of puts it over the edge and breaks you out of that cycle, that apathy, inertia, whatever. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. It's an interesting combo.
Well, I didn't screw it up then.
Yeah, that 4 of Cups always feels kind of petulant to me.
I would agree.
Yeah, that's a good word,
It's
too.
like Christmas morning when the parents have spent all their money and all their time finding the perfect toy, and the kid rips it open and but I wanted the special edition one that came with the blue light.
Yeah, or just like waiting for something better to come along, or just not being satisfied. Yeah. But it's not to the point yet where it's like where you want to do something about it. Like I don't know, like it's almost like there needs to be another element that's introduced to break that 4.
Would you two think that those 2 cards together would also be very much a yin and a yang? The 4 of Cups being very giving, the 5 of Swords being very, I don't want to say take away, but almost, it's just two very polar opposite, almost ideals, when I pull them anyway.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely not in the same space.
Right.
Because one of them's looking at it, from the emotional angle, and the other one's much more analytical. Those swords, yeah, they'll logic themselves to death sometimes.
Yeah, but if we're looking at it that way, I almost feel like neither of them is into the relationship. If it's 4 of Wands and 5 of Swords, like neither of them wants to be together. Like they're just kind of there, and it's like, okay, here we are because we got nothing better to do, and maybe there's a connection, but it's not. Yeah, it's funky.
Yeah, it's almost like whatever brought them together isn't there anymore.
Yeah, so who's going to be the one to pull the trigger? Yeah. Maybe that's it. Yeah. I don't know.
No one wants to be the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys, because that's a lot of what you just said is a lot of what I pulled out of it when I was given the reading, and I wanted to make sure I was in the right zip code anyway.
Sure. Yeah. Well, whatever you felt. I mean, we can talk about combinations, all day, but really, whatever you feel is important. So whatever you feel it means, yeah, absolutely, yeah, is important. Which a lot of tarot purists would take me out back and shoot me for saying that, but it's, I do believe that meanings are valuable, and learning about the system and language of tarot is valuable. I am guilty of being kind of a snob about that. However, I will say it is important to use your intuition and to go with what you feel intuitively and not necessarily up here what you know about the cards. So if you felt that that's what that meant in that moment, then absolutely go with it.
I drive purist insane, I'm sure, in all aspects of my life. You drive me nuts
every now and then.
Because if it's dogma, I have a real problem with telling me that I have to do something a certain way. And,
sure.
You have to open the circle and close the circle a certain way, and you have to face this direction, and you have to shuffle the cards this many times. And
yeah, but see, I'm just a little purist enough where I'm like, but you do, at least, I don't know, because it's like with cooking, but it's like with cooking or baking. You can't just throw a bunch of shit in there and expect it to turn out like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
That's how I was taught to cook. This is like a teaspoon.
Well, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but I don't know. Part of me is like, okay, yes, you you can do whatever, but you got to have some like groundwork, right? You got to have like some, I don't know.
I do know I have took the classes, and I do know the meanings and the symbolisms and all of that, and I get that. It's just if Spirit tells me that's not what it means in this reading, I'm perfectly fine with letting go.
Oh, sure. No, and I totally agree with that. Yeah, like go with the instinct, go with the intuition.
If you're starting out, then definitely it's really good to know the history of something, to know the symbolisms. I just took a class in the history and magic of tarot because there's always background info that I don't know.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, even the like I said, I have a streak of the tarot purist in me. It's like, but it's a system, but it is a language, If you're just going to read it, however, then you're not reading tarot. Like, I am guilty of that. But I can see the other, and I have done the other, where I've just thrown it all out, and I have done it, like, psychically and intuitively. So,
for me, I guess the tarot's always been a tool to help me tap into what I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there are people that read the cards, and that's perfectly fine. I just go that little step outside myself, and
well, that's important. Like, that's the added element. That's what's going to give it. That's what gives a tarot reading its soul, I think, is when you do that. Absolutely, when you tap into that. Yeah, but I don't. Part of me is like, oh, but it is a language. It is a system, But yeah,
but I'm also a Gemini, so I can go boop boop, and I'm fine.
Yes,
both sides, and it's like, oh yeah, okay. And I tend to jump back and forth between the two, which really drives people who are totally purist and people who rely completely on instinct insane, because I understand both sides.
Oh man!
And we'll play both sides against each other. I have no problem doing that. It's that little 5 of Wands streak every once in a while, They feel like it's arguing. I feel like it's dancing. It's okay.
Funny. Well, what's at the bottom of your deck? Before we sign off, we did this reading for what we can expect the next year for the show. What's at the bottom of your deck?
Oh.
I sometimes like to turn it over.
The 4 of Swords.
Okay.
Which is,
I like the 4 of Swords.
That's just, to me, that's just a heads up that you need to take care of yourself, which in this case would be the show. Take care of the show. Do what you need to do to keep the show fresh and free and flowing and organic, and don't stress out until it's not fun anymore, because then it's going to become a chore and you're not going to enjoy it.
Right. I personally love the 4 of Swords. I know that some people don't like it. They see it as like kind of like a dead card, like the guy in the card is dead and it's stasis. But I love the 4 of Swords. It always has like a very dreamlike, peaceful, restful quality. And one of its titles is Day of Rest after after strife, like after the pain of the Three of Swords. So I welcome the Four of Swords in this sense, because the first year we've had a lot of fun, but it's been a learning experience, and I haven't always felt so great, and it's been a little stressful. And at the beginning, when we first aired, I was like terrified, like, what am I going to say? This is going to suck. This is no, like, and it kind of was Three of Swords. So I welcome the Four of Swords as really kind of being more in the flow.
Well, and of course, those of you who've been watching, listening for the whole time, know me and Rebecca mesh very well together, but we're also very opposite. So the radio portion was very uncomfortable for me because I'm a very visual person, whereas Rebecca is very intuitive to sound and stuff, so she was fine with that. And sometimes all of my crazy distracts from what she's trying to say necessarily. So yeah, but I think we're at a happy medium now where we're both comfortable in our space and with working together where it complements each other, I
think so. I like the Four of Swords.
Yeah,
and I do.
Thank you for having me along for the ride. It's been fun.
Oh, well, thank you for joining me. It's been crazy because I don't know what I'm doing. So thanks for coming along. And for my card, I got Page of Cups, which I think is very playful and sweet and creative and intuitive and all those good things. And the show, I feel, is very Page of Cups, like very young, but very exploring and playful and open.
Well, and I also feel like that's also getting it out there more, because the page brings news, and with us being an information show, that means more people are going to be able to access the show and discover the show and, follow along for the ride.
Yeah, I like it. The pages travel. Yeah, it's good. It's very good. And did I ever share what came after the Four of Cups or the Four of Pentacles? My second card? I got the King of Pentacles. Did I tell you that?
No, I don't remember him. I would remember him.
You drew Ace Swords, 8 Swords, and then I drew 4 Pentacles, King Pentacles. So this is cool. This is benevolent.
The good, happy, sitting on my throne, being benevolent, throwing coins to everybody and watching everybody have fun. And yeah, the king he's the happy king of the deck, I think. Because he doesn't really, there's nothing about his life that he really wants to change. He's sitting pretty and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Some of the kings are uncomfortable on their throne. They don't like the emotion or the decisions or whatever that go along with it, but he's fine.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah. Very good. Very solid.
I would want to be in front of.
Yeah. No, I like it. I also get opportunity from that card, like more opportunities, benevolence. Yeah, just everything. I think it'll be good. So again, thank you. Thank you for coming with me, Tim. It's been good. That's all we got. We are coming up on time here. Tim, tell the viewers how they can get in touch with you.
You can get me on Facebook at Timothy's Tarot, or if you're in the Dover, Delaware area, I do readings out of Bell Book and Candle. It's 678-4545.
All right, and I'm your host, Rebecca Brown. You can get in touch with me by emailing the show, thetarottalkshow@gmail.com. Visit our website, thetarottalk.com, for our recent updates, archived shows, guest bios, and all of that. You can also follow us on Twitter and like our Facebook page. You can also get in touch with me by visiting my blog, 365daysoftarot.com, everydaytarotcardcombinations.com, and my newest venture, tarotwow.com. So you can reach me on all of those places. So we are going to be back next week, correct? I believe so. Tune in then. We'll have something good. Very exciting. New show for a new year. It'll be great. All right. So catch us next Monday only on the ParaEncounters Network at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. So mote it be.